Is a perfect opportunity for me to get on the experts for the day. We've got Samir Dalal, who's joining us, who's with Natwarlal and Sons Stockbrokers, as well as Rajesh Palviya. Apologies for that. Rajesh Palviya, Senior Vice President, Technical and Derivatives, joining in. Rajesh, Samir, as always, thanks so much for taking the time. Samir, I'll come to you first on what you're making of the auto sales numbers. We're yet to see them, of course, but hopefully you heard what Puneet had to say about the key expectations. In certain pockets you have inventory building up, and you have some positive green shoots seen in the commercial vehicle space. What do you make of the way that the pack is behaving in trade today, though?
I didn't hear exactly all the details because I joined a little late, but having said that, on the auto space as an overall, yes, there is a bit of a slowdown that we can see at the moment with some inventory pile up, but then that is also because we have a delayed Diwali this year, which means that, the festive season being a little delayed, you could see an uptick coming in a little later than it did last year. We believe that eventually in India, the auto space is something that is going to continue to grow. The only question that needs to be asked, I guess, is when the shift starts happening in a more dramatic manner towards the electric vehicle space, who would be the beneficiaries of that? And of course, it's going to be time consuming. It's going to take another 2-3 years. So in the meantime, what's going to happen is the companies are going to continue to see a decent amount of growth. Overall, we believe the auto space in India is set for growth. Today's correction, look, the correction in the market and the correction in the stock prices is nothing more than the fact that the valuations for many of them had run up far ahead of what fundamentals justify. The PE multiple expansion has happened, no doubt, because of the liquidity. But overall, growth is there. Just the pricing needs to be something that an investor needs to look at, because when you buy even a good stock which is going to grow at the wrong price, your returns can be subdued.
Okay, that's a very fair point that you've made. But having said that, 4% off on Hero MotoCorp as we speak, and it's not had the best ride in the last few sessions. Let's jump straight to the questions that we've got. And we've got quite a few. By the way, if you're tuning in for the first time and if you've got a question for us, you can send it on that number that you see on your screen. Just make sure to tell us your name as well as where you're tuning in from. The first question is from Pritesh Maru, and he's asking about Bosch Limited. It's interesting that we're taking this at the start. Samir, I'm coming back to you because it's a relatively long-term question. He's held on from 19,500 levels. He's got 3 shares, and he's asking whether to hold on at this juncture or not. He's made a sizable gain. The stock at very close to 38,000 as we speak, and it's had a fantastic run over the last 12 months. Would you hold?
Yes, I would hold on to a Bosch, right? So again, valuations for Bosch have also moved up, but would I be buying a fresh quantity today? No, but since you're already holding and you have a significant profit in your portfolio, in your investment, I think even if the stock corrects, it in fact throws up a good buying opportunity, because like I told you earlier, we still believe the auto industry is going to see amazing growth over the next many years in India. Bosch is one of the key players when it comes to the auto ancillary space. They're not a pure auto ancillary anymore. They also have white goods and consumer durables. Of course, it's a much smaller component of the overall business, but at the end of the day, it's still part of it. But we believe that the industry will continue to do well. Bosch will continue to keep its market share or even maybe gain it to some extent. So we are positive. But yes, I would not buy at this moment, but I'd hold on, and corrections I would add on.
I promise you I'm not planning this. It's just happening incidentally. The next question is also on an automotive company. This is on Mahindra & Mahindra. Kamleshwar Singh from Bihar is asking about this. He's got M&M at a price of 3,003, and he's wondering whether to hold on because he's lost a little bit of ground in the recent past. Stock is still trading above 3,100, but 2.5% lower in trade today. Rajesh, on the charts, this one as well as the rest of the auto pack under a little bit of pressure today. What are the price trends indicating for M&M?
So overall, automobile sector is looking bullish, but yes, some profit taking from higher level we have witnessed in most of the stocks in today's trade. But still, if you analyze the M&M structure, stock is bullish on the longer term time frame. In the near term also, we have seen a good rally. But I think if he has horizon for another 1 to 2 month kind of time frame, if he has taken the short term bet, so I think he can hold on, as overall structure is bullish until the stock is trading about 3070 level. I think trend is likely to remain on the bullish side, and after this minor dip, again stock should resume its uptrend, and possible target towards 3150, 3200 we could see in M&M going forward. So I think at this juncture, I would advise 3070 can be kept as a trailing stop loss to hold the position.
Okay. This is not a specific stock-related question. It's more open-ended, and hopefully you have a view on this, Samir. This is on hydrogen storage. It's based on, I would think that you're talking about a green hydrogen and electrolysis, which results in hydrogen and use of hydrogen, but is this very specific question on those companies that could be involved in hydrogen storage going forward. Do you have a view on that? And if not, do you have a view on green hydrogen and who stands to benefit from a shift to that kind of technology?
So, green hydrogen, I think is still too early days to talk about it. I mean, yes, a lot of companies are moving into that category and probably setting up capacity, but I don't think too many auto majors have any car that is lined up which is going to be coming out, or there is enough infrastructure for you to have the green hydrogen, because at the end of the day you're going to need the kind of infrastructure that oil marketing companies have. If I have a car which runs on hydrogen, I need to be able to refill it at some point. It's not a question of only green hydrogen. I mean, I'm just talking about the fact that at the end of the day, when you have mileage anxiety, which is there already in the electric, and electric is taking so long to get scaled, I think hydrogen is going to take an even longer time. Is it a more feasible option? Probably is a more feasible option, but I think it's still too early in the day. We know of Reliance who's making a foray into that. I think the Adani Group also is making a foray into that. So could they be long-term beneficiaries? Probably, because at the end of the day, they have deep pockets and can make these investments with not really generating too much return in the near term. But I don't think there are too many other companies that could be something that you could look at. But yes, if you want to play that space, then the green hydrogen space, then you can look at companies in the solar vertical or the wind turbine makers like a Suzlon or a Inox or as Sterling and Wilson Solar, who would get the orders to set up the green energy to allow them to do the electrolysis to set up the green hydrogen plants. But again, like I said, I wouldn't be investing only from the green hydrogen plant point of view. I'd be investing from the fact, if I was at these prices, I wouldn't, but I would be investing from the fact that India's shift to renewable energy is gaining a lot of momentum. Orders are going to see an uptake for these companies, but it's already factored into a very large extent. I think prices have run up across the board for all of these guys.
Yeah.
And corrections would, deep correction, I'm not talking about 5 and 10%, I'm talking about deep correction of 25% or levels would make it attractive to buy.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, completely taking the point on the technology which is lacking for this to be used, right? Of course, this is something that will build over a period of time, and it is still early days. Rajesh from Bengaluru is asking about Ease My Trip, and this is a stock that was under pressure after promoters selling in the counter. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's currently trading. Ease My Trip was bought by Rajesh at a price of 36 or 0.25. And asking on the charts, how does it look? It's down about 15.7% or thereabouts. Rajesh, what would you do on the charts?
So stock is in downtrend, and we have seen a series of lower top, lower bottom formation in this stock. On the day of promoter selling, we have seen a big knock on the stock prices. In this process, stock has broken its important support area, which was placed at around 37 rupees. So I think till the stock is continues to trade below 37, I think furthermore pressure we could see going forward, and possibly stock may slip further towards the 30, even 28 kind of level also. So I think one should avoid at this juncture, as the trend is still on the weaker side for Ease My Trip. There could be some revival in the stock prices if it's able to sustain above 37, 38 zone on a weekly closing basis. I think till the time pressure is likely to be there further.
Okay. Another auto company we're talking about today, Ashok Leyland. Currently 238 is the price where it's trading, and we've got Gautam from Mumbai who's bought 4,000 shares at a price of 196 in the green right now and making a sizable profit. He's asking whether to sell at this point and move to another automotive company. Samir, would you suggest that is something he can consider doing?
So ideally, if you ask me, look, the commercial vehicle space is now beginning to see some green shoots, and as the Indian economy continues to see an uptick and infrastructure investment, capital investment, logistics, make in India, all of these activities of the government start seeing the light of day, we will see the requirement for consumer vehicles constantly increase. So Ashok Leyland is well poised for that. They have a decent reach. They have a decent offering. Valuations, although a little higher than normal levels, are not extremely expensive, right? So it's trading at about, I think, 27 times trailing, 24 times 1 year forward, which is not extremely expensive. Yes, for auto sector, that is a little bit on the higher side. But look, given the fact that we believe that India has a huge growth potential for that space, you have constant replacement demand also coming through, growth, all of that. I think someone can stay invested, they can continue to hold. Tata Motors is another large player in the space that someone can look at. Again, eventually you will get the demerged entity, but right now it's a very consolidated entity where you're getting not only the commercial vehicle, but you also have to buy the passenger vehicle and Jaguar Land Rover. And we believe the profitability for all three entities over a period of time will increase, even though in the near term we are a little skeptical on the growth for the fact that the management themselves have guided for a slightly muted year. But on correction, Tata Motors, I would add, Ashok Leyland, I would continue to hold on.
Hold on to the Ashok Leyland investment you've made is the view coming in from Samir. Kaveri Seeds is the next counter that we're talking about. This is a question from Satya, and he's asking whether to buy at the current price for a period of 1 to 2 years. The stock is under pressure today, down about 4.5%, but it's had a decent run in the year so far, 2024, 60% up. Rajesh, on the basis of the movement on the chart, would you suggest that you can still enter at these levels for potential upside from here?
As you mentioned, yes, long-term trend is bullish, but for near-term to short-term, stock is attracting profit booking. This is the second consecutive month where we are seeing, stock is showing some profit taking. In this process, stock is now slipped below to 20-day, 50-day moving average. So I think going forward on the near-term perspective, we may see further more pressure towards 940, 930 kind of zone, where again, one can review it, or that's the level where, one can deploy some long trade as overall structure is bullish, and we believe that, around those levels, some buying interest may attract around 930, 940 kind of zone. So wait for another 3-4% kind of correction, and then one can start accumulating this stock in this decline.
Coming back to you, Adani Wilmar is the counter that we're talking about. Jayesh from Mumbai is asking about this. He's bought at levels of 400, and he's asking whether it's a hold or a sell at this point. The stock is currently trading at 344. He's bought as much as 2,000 shares. So it's a considerable quantity that he's got. Would you hold on?
So I think this is 7th, 8th consecutive month where, stock is in range only. 320 is the lower band, and higher side of 400, 405 is the higher band for the stock. Stock has attempted to cross this consolidation range, but again and again we are seeing that 400 is acting as a steep resistance for the stock. So if he has a little longer horizon, can hold on or accumulate this stock with stop loss of 310. On the higher side, 380, 400 are the immediate supply zone. Once stock crosses above 400, there could be a rally towards 460 to 480 kind of zone. But it may take time, because looking at the structure, we believe some more consolidation could be there for some couple of months.
Okay. ABSL, Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC. Oh, I completely forgot. Adani Wilmar is what we just spoke about. This is NDTV Profit, part of the NDTV Group. It is owned by Adani Group as well. That's a standard disclaimer that we have to give you. ABSL AMC is what we were talking about. Apologies. Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC. It's currently trading at 718.95 or thereabouts, and we've got Archana from Gujarat, who's bought at an average price of 712 and making a very small profit. Not too much to speak about. Samir, the question is, should you hold? It's a very basic question asking in Hindi. ये आगे बढ़ेगा या नहीं?
जी बढ़ेगा. Mutual fund industry India में grow कर रही है. Aditya Birla will also grow. Of course, they are not the market leaders and they are not able to get market leading growth. If the person wants to have something that is growing at higher paces, then Nippon AMC and HDFC AMC are of course two of them which are in the listed category. Otherwise, SBI, I mean, it's the unlisted, but that I think when the listing comes will do well. So, I mean, we believe the mutual fund industry is going to grow. You can hold on to ABSL, it will grow, but it will not be the same kind of returns probably some of the others will.
Okay, fair point. All right. I must confess, I did want to take this particular stock in focus today, NMDC Steel, one of the stocks that is gaining on the back of what is happening outside of India. Of course, this is to do with what China has announced, the stimulus package, focused specifically on iron ore, or rather I shouldn't say iron ore, that's the repercussions of it. It focused specifically on the real estate space, and that is likely to have a bearing on iron ore. In fact, the underlying iron ore prices have gone up quite significantly. It's expected to have a bearing on iron ore prices here in India as well. Sameer, the question from Sanjay is whether or not you would buy for a period of 2 to 3 years.
So I think there are better steel companies. So NMDC Steel is nothing to do with iron ore. They are a steel manufacturer and buying iron ore from NMDC, right? So iron ore prices increasing is not a positive. They need steel prices to increase. That matters to them. Look, if steel prices were to keep increasing, then for me, Tata Steel becomes the best buy in the market for the simple reason that they are fully vertically integrated. So any increase in the prices of metal means that they get their iron ore from the mines at the cheapest rate possible and are able to sell the steel at the highest price. So margin expansion for Tata Steel is probably the highest. In a falling steel market, companies like JSW Steel, NMDC Steel could probably outperform because for them iron ore prices come down as well, so they are converters where they can make a better benefit. So if you're asking me, should you be buying NMDC Steel? I don't have active coverage on that. What we do know is yes, that capacity is now coming to a better utilization. The break-evens are probably expected. But if I were to be a buyer in the steel sector, I would still pick Tata Steel over an NMDC Steel. It's just now a question to see if NMDC Steel gets eventually sold to who, because I believe it's on the block. But I mean, based on that, I mean, you can give a call. But for me, Tata Steel is the right play in the market if you believe steel prices are going to increase.
You know, I wanted to know about NMDC as well. That's my question to you. Quick answer though, since it's my question. Would you buy? It's up about 4.5%, and that has to do, of course, with what's happening to metal prices globally.
So NMDC iron ore, yes, it's an interesting play. Again, valuations have run up, but it's still very attractive. If you look at it on the overall basis, it's not expensive. If we believe that iron ore prices were to remain at these levels, I think NMDC could warrant a buy. However, given the fact that I don't believe that the Chinese steel demand is going to come back in a significant way because of the incentives given by the Chinese government on real estate, for the time being, I would actually stay away from the entire metal pack, to be very frank.
Okay, all right. So that's a call that is very interesting. Thanks, Sameer, for that view. Dinesh from Gurgaon is asking about Zomato. He's asking whether it's the right time to add to his holding. He's got Rajesh holding at 230. He's got 300 shares. So he's sitting on a profit right now. And he's wondering whether to add more at the current price. Stock has done incredibly well in 2024. It's more than doubled in that time frame. Rajesh, would you suggest a fresh buy at this point?
I think yes, this minor decline should be used as a buying opportunity. Stock is now negotiating with its 20-day moving average, which is the immediate support area for the stock. I think yes, he may add on the position as long-term trend for the stock is looking bullish, and we believe that this stock has potential to move further back to the new all-time high trajectory also going forward. So yes, this decline should be used as a buying opportunity. If you are deploying new trade here for investment or for trading, so your stop loss should be capped as 260 rupees. And on the high side, we believe that 300 to 320 would be the next target on a short-term basis.
All right. It's time at the end of this program to very quickly jump into the rapid fire segment. Both Sameer as well as Rajesh are familiar with it. Gentlemen, I'll throw as many questions as I possibly can at you over the next 2 minutes. Do try and take as many as possible. The first one is on R Power, and we keep getting questions about this. Russell from Bangalore is asking whether to hold on. He's bought at levels of 27.9, 6,800 shares, and so therefore making a bit of a killing. Rajesh, would you hold on or would you sell?
So just a disclaimer, I am also holding this stock, and my view is bullish on this stock, and yes, he may hold on the position. His stop loss is 42.
Okay, Andhra Petro bought at prices of 114. This is from Subramanian in Chennai. Should he book losses or should he hold on? Rajesh, any view on the chart?
I think he should exit from the stock, as stock is not done well. So I think even if he wants to hold, keep the stop loss of 92.
Okay. Punjab National Bank bought a price of 330. This is a question from Shivani. Shivani wants to know, should you hold? She's been holding for the long term. Samir?
Yes, hold on.
Hold on. Zomato again. I'm going to take this to you, Samir. From the context of another company in the same space, Swiggy, likely to list soon, would you hold on if you bought at prices of 63?
No, I would book profits. I think valuations are very expensive. Even a good company at the wrong price, like I tell you, is bad. So
okay. NTPC bought at prices of 439.5. Dondor, writing in from Shillong, asking whether it should be held on to. Rajesh, on the chart.
Yeah, I think yes, hold. Trend is bullish. 455, 460 is the next target.
Servotech is the name of the counter we're talking about. Sushila from Bellary is asking whether it should be bought at the current market price. Any view, Samir, on this one?
Sorry, no view.
Rajesh, on the charts?
I would say yes, they can buy this stock with stop loss of 170, possible target 200 to 220.
All right. And that brings us to the end of the rapid fire segment and indeed Ask Profit. Thank you so much, Samir, as well as Rajesh, for joining in, for answering all the questions you did. We're completely out of time, like I said, on Ask Profit. Thank you so much for joining in, and do stay tuned. Lots more coming up over the course of the day. This is NDTV Profit.